Wow, it's been a day since the last time we got together, and I apologize for that. We've had a lot going on here at the shop, as I'm sure you are aware and understand. But we did go online here around I want to say the 16th or something like that, 15th, 16th. That whatever that Saturday was, before that was our last day open, and then we went online. So we've been online for 3 weeks now, I believe, and it was an adjustment to make. For all of you who have supported us, thank you so much for that. It's been just amazing, fantastic support from all of our customers and friends out there, and we just really appreciate you for that. I know that many of you are supporting lots of shops, not just ours, and so we are all really grateful for that, and we appreciate you for that. That will mean the difference and for some shops in open or close after all this is behind us. But so just understand and know that we appreciate you for that. And thank you for so much encouragement and feedback on Elizabeth Cooper, Jesus Wept, the sampler that we gave away to you guys. That was just amazing that you loved it so much, and we appreciate that, and we appreciate everybody who kitted it with us. We are still working on shipping all those out. We are down to a skeleton crew, really, I guess. So there are myself and Andrea, who is my sister-in-law. We work here on a pretty regular basis during the week, and sometimes we have a little bit of help from one of my nieces or nephews with shipping during this transitionary period, this temporary closure online status. So we are moving a little bit slower through everything, but I will be honest with you, that's what we have to do to keep us all safe. So anyway, we're here, we're working hard to get all your orders out, and we appreciate you so much for all those orders. I just want you to know that. But fun things do abound here. Today I was working on the next video installment of Learning Stitches, and so that's lesson number 4. So if you haven't been watching those, I invite you to jump over to YouTube and take a look at those. Those are fantastic, I think. They're fantastic fun. And Jeanette made a fantastic book. I don't know about my teaching, but it's certainly fun to do, and the response has been amazing. So for all you guys who are joining us in that adventure, I appreciate you for that. I think you're going to like the stitch that we recorded today, the modified Florentine. That's a lot of fun. It's a little different, and there's lots more to come with that. So a lot of you have your books. A lot of you have your banding. There are some of you who don't yet and know that we are waiting for the next shipment of books, and as soon as they come in, we turn around and we send them right back out. We send them the same day usually, so there's not even a day's lag on that. And right now we are still able to get things out of Canada, so that's working out pretty good for us. So we have another shipment that should be here this week, and we'll turn those around and get those right back out. By the time you see this video, you will, if you're looking for banding, we have put some more banding out there for you. So, if you want to stitch it on banding, that's great. Working on getting another video for how to wrap your hoop out there. I did one, and it's attached to our very first Flosstube video. So I was trying to break that out and put it out there, and I think I did another one. I've got to look back and see what all I did, and try to get those posted for you. And I will be doing a video on teaching you an edging stitch if you want to join that group. And if you don't have banding and you want to stitch on a piece of linen out of your stash, then you can do that. And forgive my voice today. It's allergy season here on top of everything else, and so we're dealing with that too. But I'm still super excited about a lot of the stuff that came out of market, and I know a lot of you guys are too. And I wanted to show you some things that I didn't really touch on the last time, and I barely scraped the surface the last video. So I want to talk to you first about a series from Summerhouse Stitchworks, and it's called the Ladies Garden Journal. And so this is the first installment. It's called Sweet William, and it uses overdyed floss from Classic Colorworks or DMCs. You can do it either way. So each one will be a really beautiful flower from Beth from Summerhouse Stitchworks, and she's also provided a really amazing finishing kit for it. And I wanted to show you everything that comes in this finishing kit. So we do actually have these finishing kits, and in the finishing kit, let me put my peeps on so I can see it all. The kit is $36, and it has 8 wooden boards, 7 pre-cut mat boards, the twill tape ribbon, the cover design chart, and finishing instructions. So It's a lot of stuff in there. And this was beautiful, beautiful at market. So, this is the twill tape ribbon. So much cool stuff in here. I'm trying to get it all out without dropping it. This is the front page, you know, the finishing. You can put your own initials in there. And that's the journal cover. And then she does great instructions, and she actually does give you the initial charts that you need for it. And then it's got all these pieces for finishing, and I'm sure she'll do a tutorial video on it as well. She almost always does. And it's got the wooden pieces. So this is everything in here that you need to finish this, and so I'm pretty excited about that. Ooh, got it all over me. This will be my next project. And it's really great that she's actually doing one of these and providing the kit so that you can do it on your own versus having to take a class with her. So just fantastic. Pretty excited about that. I will tell you what the materials are. So again, it uses Classic Colorworks or DMC, and it's stitched on Confederate Gray, 32 count Confederate Gray, and we'll be getting that in from Weeks Dye Works. So they do beautiful linen. We've got Confederate Gray in 36 and 40. I might have it in, I don't think I do. I think I've got it in tin roof. So we'll be getting it in 32 count Confederate Gray. It should be on its way. So we'll be putting kit prices out there for this. And if you kit it with us, we've got this really cool little microfiber lens cleaning cloth that we'll throw in there for you. So Beth had these made up, and I think they're great. And then also there's a really sweet little floss tab. So just drop it in it. So, you know, if you want to kit the whole thing with us, we will throw in there the microfiber cleaning cloth and the little floss tab for you. So, it's beautiful. Beth does beautiful things with these. And when you're done with the floss tab, if you don't want to use it that way, you could use it for something else, or you can take this off and make a scissor fob out of it. So, just really pretty, or even a really cool vintage looking necklace. She's just very thoughtful in how she designs all that stuff. So I think this is a really fantastic way to put this together. I'm excited about this. And that twill tape is how you join the books. So pretty neat stuff there. So that is Sweet William, Ladies Garden Journal from Summer House Stitch Works. Pretty excited about that. The other one, I can't remember if I told you about this. Now, if I did, I apologize, is My Stitcher's Heart from Hands On Design. And I love this one too. And so we do have some of the little finishing pieces that you need for this one. I might have talked about this. Now, if I did, I'm sorry. This is called Witchy. It's from Lady Dot, and it's the palms. So we have that. And then there's also a really sweet little wax skeleton key that we have for it too. So we're happy to provide, you know, your kitting and your supplies for this as well. That's another one that's on my list to stitch. And you know, in the vein of friendship, there were a number of collaborations out at market this year, and you probably heard about a lot of them. This one is there were two that were favorites of mine. One was from the Blue Flower and Bendy Stitchy. And the other one is from Heartstring Samplery and Plum Street Samplers. So I want to show you these two. Get them out of their little bags so that you don't have any glare. So Heartstring Samplery, this is hers, and a token for my friend. And then this one is the one from Plum Street, and it says, "From my heart to your hand." And they actually can be stitched together. So these two birdies actually will fit together, and you can stitch it as one long piece. So I love it. Or you can make two and give one to a friend, and you've got the other half, kind of like a Mizpah coin, if you remember those. You could also make a double-sided pin keep, which I think might be what I do. And so basically one side is this and the other side is this. And then you join them together with some wool and stuff, and you use it as a pin keep. I think that's what I'll do. And you can personalize it. You know, on one side you can put your initials, and on the other side you can put your friend. So I'm going to do it that way. I'll show you how to finish that and what that looks like. I'm pretty excited about that too. And then one of the things I've seen people talking about online lately is the Sampler and Antique Needlework Quarterly Collection. So these DVDs, and we have a bunch of these DVDs. So if you do not have all of these magazines, this magazine is out of print now. It went out of print at the end of 2015, sometime in 2015. So this is the full collection from 1991 through 2015. And, you know, right now, as we're all quarantined at home and you are looking for patterns to stitch, this one is full of beautiful, gorgeous patterns from antiques. And my friend Lorraine Moots did this one down here at the bottom, this sweet bag. I love that. I actually own that magazine, so very, very happy to have that one. I do want to stitch that. It's a little Scottish sweet bag. It's really pretty. Sure, lots of glare on that, but we do have these in stock, so if you're looking for this or you think you might be interested in that, you can hit us up for that. And then I wanted to talk for just a minute about our classes. And so, of course, we canceled our May and June classes. It was the right thing to do, and we did it a little earlier than we probably had to. But I wanted people to know and to not have to worry about that. And so we're refunded most of the money. We're still finishing up those refunds. It just takes forever to do them. So if you're in that group, I apologize. It just takes me hours to sit down and work through, you know, just a few of them, 20 of them or so. It takes a couple hours just because I have to go through so much level of detail to get it done. So I'm working on getting those finished up over the next week or so. But what we did instead, one of those antiques we actually own. We own Mabel Took, which is a beautiful, beautiful sampler. And there's a picture of her on our Facebook page and on our website and on the registration for the classes. So we decided to go ahead and do her two different ways. We're going to do her as an in-person class in October. And so if you have an interest in Mabel Took, you can sign up for that. And we reduced the fees for it. Originally, that class was going to be taught by myself and Nicola Parkman together. She was going to teach the stitches, and I was going to give the history because I've been to Ackworth 3 times and know some of the history on that. But since she's not going to be able to travel over at a time where we can actually host her in the foreseeable future, we're going to go ahead and do that on our own. So you have the option to come in person, and the class fee for that, since it's just me, is reduced a little bit. Or you can do the online version. And the online version will happen in June. And it'll be a series of lessons. And so you don't have to be sitting in front of your computer at any particular time. You know, if you're in that class, I will give you access to those lessons, and you can go out and watch those at your convenience for up to a year after the last one is posted. So the class fee for that is $100, and that's very reasonable. That includes the booklet that we've already put together from Mabel Took, because it's a Sassafras Samplers reproduction. And that's completed. So you'll have the booklet for her, which has not been published and won't be published maybe in December, maybe not. I may keep it as a teaching piece. We'll see how it goes, but not before December. And it includes your kit, which you have the option to stitch it on 36 count or 40 count. And if you want to stitch it on a higher count, you can do that. You do have to be on linen because of the specialty stitches, but you can do it on a higher count. We could put you on a 32, but you would need more silk. So we're happy to do that for you. You'll just have a little bit more expense because you'll have to use 2 strands instead of 1. So think about Mabel Took, but one of the things, we'll be sending out the kits in May for that. And you'll have a doodle cloth because you're going to want to practice these stitches. And, I know some of you have big stands, and we are given smaller doodle cloths that you can hold in hand. And we are going to provide you with a little Hardwick Manor hoop. So we already have all these in stock. We have hundreds of them that came in this past week for this class. And we're pretty excited about that. All the doodle cloths are already cut. It'll give you a chance to see maybe a different color fabric, because she's on straw from Week Styleworks Weiger, and some of the doodle cloths are parchment, which is also really pretty. So something to think about would be Mabel Took. If you want to do another class in June and you feel like doing a sampler or reproduction, it's a pretty one. I'll include some pictures of it here for you so you can see it. So The other thing I wanted to show you is what I personally have been stitching on. I've got a few things going, obviously, but this has kind of been my favorite for the last few days. It is a club piece, so I don't know if you can still get it, but it's some scattered seed samplers, and it's called Little Wren, and I just love it. And it's finished into a pin keep, and it's called Out on a Limb Pin Keep, and I love the colors of it. This is how it came. It came with this little floss card, and it has this little nest charm on it, and it came with linen. And so I've stitched on it maybe two days, not long, but that's where I am with it. And I'm going to finish it again. I like doing pin disc for some reason, so I'm going to finish it into a flat pin disc. It came with the finishing fabric and everything too. So it's got this really beautiful kind of Civil War era look finishing fabric to it. So I'm going to make it into a pin disc. And if I finish this one before I finish the other one from Plum Street, which I probably will because I'll probably finish this week, I'll use this one to show you how to make the pin disc. But it'll be a pretty one. It'll be oval, just like the picture. But what I do with those is I put some batting underneath the stitching, and I put some wool between the two pieces of mat board. I lace it on a mat board, and I squeeze them together, and then you've got this thick layer of wool. It's like a wool sandwich between the front and the back of the pin disc. And then I do maybe a decorative stitch around it, and then I put pins into the wool around it. So I actually did one with a bluebird that I took out of our AC Bluebird sampler, reproduction sampler, and entered it into the North Carolina State Fair. Last year it was my first time to enter anything into the fair. Believe it or not, I just never had time to do that. And it won a ribbon. So I was happy about that. I think it was, I don't know what place the ribbon was, actually. I don't even remember. I don't have it back yet. My friends in Raleigh still have it. But it did place, which was kind of good because I didn't make it to have it place. I just made it. And so it had some wonky stitches and stuff in it. And it was a small, which I thought was interesting because usually smalls, I don't think they win very often in the fair. So I was pretty happy with it. So anyway, there's that. I wanted to show you this really pretty bowl. I might have showed you this before too, but if I did, I'm going to show you again. It's a heartware bowl. I love it. It's from Heart and Hand. And they make all kinds of little toppers for it that you can put on top, but you could put any design on top. And I think Vaughn has done a really good tutorial on how to finish that to make it fit right on top. But I love this bowl in particular. Of all the ones that they've made, this is my favorite. I like the size of it, and I like the color of the finish on it. So, what else? I have been thinking about doing, I tune in all the time for Flosstube. For Flosstube. I do turn in all the time for Flosstube. I also tune in all the time for Gary and Vanna with Fiber Talk. And they're doing a Fiber Talk Live. And so a few times a week, I want to say 3 times a week, I think it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Or Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, they do Quarantine Stitch hour, and we sponsor part of that, and there's some other shops that sponsor it, and they stitch together, and it's just fun, and everybody gets online and chatters back and forth, and it's just a ton of fun, and you learn something from them always. They're always talking about something that's interesting and new or different, and so anyway, there's all that fun stuff going on. And I've been thinking about maybe, I don't know how long, they're going to do it till the end of April, I know. My stitch group here in town, we don't get to meet together right now, obviously, and we're kind of missing each other, and I miss that interaction, so I'm thinking about setting up a virtual stitch group for those guys. I've never done that before, and I know there's lots of you out there that have, so I will figure it out, and I may have to ask you for some help, but that's on my list too, maybe, is to maybe do a once a week virtual stitch with you guys. Hi, sorry about that. My my computer died and I had to start over. That's the second time I've had to do that today. I had to do it with my phone when I was doing the Learning Stitches video too. So fun stuff, just one of those days. But I was in the middle of talking to you about a few things, which I don't remember exactly what. So this may be a little bit disjointed. But I know I was talking to you about the Learning Stitches video and the Mabel Toque video. I think I was still talking about Mabel Toque. So I covered all that, though. We would love to have you join us if you want to do that. And I was showing you my stitching, and I was talking about the pin disc. And I want to show you a really beautiful model. And this is for Just Stitching Along. So here's the other thing I wanted to tell you about. We've got some beautiful trunk shows in the shop right now, and sadly I'm the only one that gets to see them. So I'm going to be doing a little tour of some of those trunk shows as we go through the next few weeks. I just want to show you a single piece today, and then we'll start moving along through some of those things. We have beautiful models from Just Stitching Along, from Queenstown Designs, from we have a great trunk show from Jeanette Douglas Designs. We might have some other ones coming in. So I want to share those with you and help you enjoy those as well. But this is Just Stitching Along, and this is Krista Grammer's model for Just Stitching Along. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. E. Dalton, 1847. And this is just a really sweet little cottage, and this was one of the designs from Krista at Just Stitching Along, and it is just stunningly finished into a flat fold. And I wonder if you can guess who did that finish. I'll give you one guess, maybe two. The Twisted Stitcher Vanna Pfeiffer. So it's got this really pretty little rickrack along the edges of it. It's just amazingly well done. And Vanna's done some tutorials on flat finishes, and she also has done a couple flat finishes in her Finish With Me with Gary. So if you are looking for a tutorial to do a finish like this, there's one out there for you. So this is one of the models that's in the shop, and I just love this. I'm probably going to stitch it, and I love the fabric that it's finished with. And the cording, of course, is beautiful, but it's a really nice, substantial, nice feel and finish. So if you want to do something besides framing with some of your stuff, I mean, this is a fantastic way to do it. So I love that one. I wanted to share it with you. And I talked to you about the trunk shows, which we'll be getting going soon. We've got some stitch alongs coming up, and I think I was going toward that with Fiber Talk. I was talking about Fiber Talk. So Hannah Longstreet starts May 1st, and we've sitting on a bunch of kits. I was cutting fabric today for it. We'll finish getting those out probably tomorrow for the ones that we have ordered already. And we've got all the silks for it, and we've got the linen for it, so we'll be sending those out. You can stitch it two ways. You can stitch it, it's a pretty big sampler, so the model is stitched on 45 count linen, and you can stitch it on 45 count linen from Legacy Linen. We have that, or you can stitch it on 37 count Russian tea cake, which we also have. And so we've been cutting a lot of those, and it is stitched with needlepoint ink silk. So and we have all those in stock. So if you decide you want to join along with that stitch along, it's really neat. It's got a lot of small motifs on it. I think I showed you the chart before. I'll inset it here so that you can see it, but it's got a lot of beautiful motifs, and I've had one or two people ask about stitching it on banding. So I've got to see if I've got a piece of banding that it would work on, and I think it would. And then you would just stitch vertically the motifs down the banding, which would be kind of neat. So there's that, and then we are doing Royal Garden by Debbie Rowley, and that starts on July the 5th, and we are getting supplies in for that. So as soon as we get everything in, we'll open up registration, and we'll start getting it all back out. And so if you sign up for either of those with us for the full kit, which includes the chart and all the supplies, then it's discounted 15%. So we hope you think about doing one or both of those stitch alongs with us for the needlepoint. The second one is needlepoint Royal Garden. And on that note, a lot of you, we talked a little bit about, I mentioned somewhere about doing a little a little free needlepoint class. And I will do that for you. So I just looked today, and I've got plenty of canvas, and I've got threads for it, and you can use your own threads. You do have to do it on needlepoint canvas, but you only need a small piece, and we can send that out to you, no big deal. You can use a variegated floss, or you can use a variegated watercolor, which is what we'll teach with. If you want to do that, you can just buy a skein of that. I'll put a little kit out there for you with a skein of that, and 2 pieces of the needlepoint canvas, and we'll start getting those videos going too. We also have our newsletter. Now, I'll be honest, the newsletter has fallen to the bottom of my to-do list. It's just hard for me to take time away from shipping orders, and the videos are so much quicker to do the newsletter. But I promise you I'm going to get one of those out, because it's got our Saxon band sampler in it, and we need to finish that up. All the charting is done, and it's a beautiful band sampler, and I love the ones that you guys have stitched. They're beautiful, just beautiful. So thank you for sharing all that with us. But we need to get the newsletters out so that you can finish that up, and so that'll be on my list to get done too sometime soon, so that you can get that finished. And that's another really beautiful sampler that we are giving away for free. So we like to do that. The other thing that we're doing is we're putting out a few things on PDF download for you. So we did this original creation last year for Mary Poppins when the new movie came out, and we used a piece of banding for it, but you could do it on linen. And so that chart is now going to be available again to you by PDF. We do have it printed, but just if you want to get a quick download of it. We also have our series called Spooky Shakespeare, which I'll insert a picture of that for you too. We've got the second one of those done. And I don't know that we can get it back from print just yet. I'm going to be working on that. But we will be releasing at least the first one in PDF format for you, so that you can get that stitched. And, once we get through this shutdown, basically, and printers open back up and life gets back to a new normal, we'll probably pull those PDFs out, and we'll sell them in printed form. But I know that for some of you it's hard to get mail right now, especially if you're overseas. So we just want to help you with doing some of that. And of course you have Elizabeth Cooper, Jesus Wept, out there, which we gave you a couple weeks ago, and I'm thrilled that so many people are stitching that. So that's very exciting. So there's one other thing I just wanted to throw out there, and I kind of want some feedback on this. We did these really neat little labels. We did them last year, and we did a new one for this year. This was the one for this year. It's from M.H. Smith, the squirrel is, and it's a Bristol sampler, and the motif is from M.H. Smith. And so Claudia gave us permission to use this on our project stickers. And so on the sticker you record all your information, and then you literally just peel it off and stick it to the back of your finished piece. There's so much stitching going on right now with us being kind of quarantined and stuck at home, and we actually are running out of these for this year. We're at the point where we're getting down to the last 50 to 100, because we send one out with every order. So I hope you guys have enjoyed getting those. So I've got a choice to make. I can reprint this one. I can reprint the other one, which was not a limited edition. It was just our first one. It's our standard. We'll go back to it. But I'm kind of thinking about doing one that's specific to this time period, since this is ran out right at the beginning of when we're all kind of on lockdown. I don't want it to be a sad reminder. I don't want it to be morbid or anything. But I'm thinking about doing something to change, either change this one or use something different to give away for the rest of this time period where we're in quarantine, that would help us remember the stitches that we did during this time, and just kind of pay homage to all the people that are working so hard to keep us healthy everywhere. The healthcare people, the people in the grocery business, the truck drivers, so many people, auto mechanics. My husband with the DOT is actually still having to work, which scares me, to be honest. But he's out there working to keep the roads safe and do what they need to do. So many different people out there, and I know this is a stressful time for all of us. And so I was thinking about a way to maybe make it a little bit commemorative, so that for the pieces that you finished during this time, you can pop this label on the back, and it's just kind of a silent reminder of what time period you stitched this. So I'm open to some feedback on what you think about that. Sorry, again, I've got allergies. They're just driving me nuts today. But I didn't want to put off doing this video any longer. So, shoot me a note. You can put a response to this. You can let me know what you think, if you think that's a good idea or not. I haven't really decided yet, which is unusual. Usually I make decisions pretty quickly. That's probably a sign of the times right now. I'm a little bit waffly on some things, just because it's just not a fun time for any of us, is it? So anyway, let me know what you think about that. We can move forward with that. So I will try to do a better job at keeping you entertained. I know there's lots of people out there doing it, and I just really appreciate all the sweet comments and notes that you guys send my way. I had Prim Stitcher's retreat was canceled also, and we, like a lot of people, had a lot of inventory that we had bought to set up a boutique, because we were the shop for that this year. So it is what it is. We have our online shop, so we'll be able to sell it there. But a lot of the vendors who go to that don't have that ability. And so they're having a little online market event this weekend. And I was out there looking at some stuff. And one of the things that I wanted to try to buy was a little commemorative fob. It was a real pretty one. And I guess I didn't get it because I saw a note today that said, from the maker, who was a guy, I said, "Hey, Kim, sorry that one was sold, but one of your stitching friends out here bought a different one for you and wants to give it to you as a thank you." And that just really touched my heart. It almost made me cry. It's just, you guys have just been really tremendously sweet and special and supportive. And I really appreciate that. I guess I do want to go one more thing. I had posted a note out there about our old folk Victorian that got broken into. We don't know when exactly, to be honest. It's vacant. It is between here and the town of Asheville. It's about 2.5 miles south of where the shop is. It's on the same street, actually, and it was built in, I want to say 1787 or something like that. Oh, sorry, 1878. Gave it an extra 100 years. 1878. And it's been there all this time, so it's on the National Listing of Historic Places, and it's sat empty for 16 years, and nobody's ever heard it. Nobody's ever broken into it. The worst thing that's ever happened to it is it got a little spray paint on the outside of it before I bought it. But, we secured it when we bought it, and we've done tons and tons of work to it. We've done everything to it except for move into it, pretty much. We've got a little bit of finishing work we need to do, and it will be the ultimate home of our shop. And a lot of you know that. There's another little Facebook page out there called The Baird House Becoming Sassy Jack Stitchery or something like that. It's just kind of a fun thing that I started. Itchy today. That I started when we bought it in 14. I think I bought it in 2013 or 14. I think 14. I started working on it in 15. And it's just a beautiful house, and it has this really warm feel. Well, I haven't been over there much in the last year, and right now we have been using it for storage. And I did not realize that some of my personal things were still in there. When I left Raleigh, and I'm from here, but when I left Raleigh, I took a job in St. Croix, and my then boyfriend, now husband, graciously moved all of my things home for me, and everything was labeled, and some things went to his house, some things went into storage in a pod, some things went to the Baird house, and some things got sidetracked. So I didn't realize that there were some boxes in there very conveniently labeled for the thieves, jewelry boxes. And so when I realized that the house had been broken into, of course, they went straight to those boxes, and they dumped out some jewelry boxes and took what was in there. And I was just shattered. Honestly, I was shattered, because there were some family things in there that had been given to me, by my dad or my mom, who are both gone now, and they were irreplaceable. They weren't, valuable per se to most people. They might have been worth a little bit of money in a pawn shop, but they were super important to me. And so I was shattered for a couple of days. And, during that time period, I realized that a lot of that was my fault. I shouldn't have taken 5 years to unpack my personal belongings, because that's a 10th of my life. I'm 51. So 5 years is literally 10% of my life lived. And my personal goods, including everything I own from that house, pretty much are sitting in boxes, either at my house I live in now with my husband, or, somewhere in storage. And I was just like, wow, I got to slow down. I need to get priorities straight. And I guess I'm telling you this because I think this is a time that we all maybe are doing a little bit of that. And, I'm very grateful for what I do have. And as it turned out, after a couple of nights, it's hard to remember when you run as fast as I run, your mind throws things out that it finds less important and keeps the important things because you just don't have enough memory at all. And so I had forgotten some things. And as I was kind of lamenting over this loss of mine and beating myself up for not getting my stuff unpacked a little bit sooner, I was going through some little fragments of memories. And I remembered a box at my house that I live in now with my husband that said jewelry on it. And I then remembered that I had taken all of my valuable things and put it in there so that it wouldn't be in the pod. And it had transported directly to our house. And I thought I remembered seeing it there at some point downstairs. And so bless my husband's heart, he set out on a quest the next day. Now, I remember all of my things are still packed in our large basement room. It's like 30 foot long and, normal height high. There are 3 major rows stacked to the ceiling of big, large storage boxes of my personal things. Most of them say craft room on them. So, be that as it may. So, and they've been moved around a few times because he's had to move stuff because I've taken 5 years to unpack my things. And he found the box and he brought it upstairs for me, and I opened it up, probably the third night after I thought that all my things were gone. And sure enough, a lot of the important things, not all the things, but a lot of the important things were in there. And I was very, very grateful for that. Nonetheless, it was a nice wake-up call to me that, hey, I need to slow down. I need to take a real inventory of the things that are important in our life and get that stuff sorted, and enjoy some time. And so I hope that you're taking advantage of this time to do that and to just reflect on what's important to you. Not that you need this. I just realized this sounds like a lecture you didn't ask for. Sorry about that. But just relating some of my own personal experience. I hope that one of the positive things that comes out of all this is not only that you have time to stitch, and I hope you get a lot of stitching done. And I know it's hard for some of us to stitch right now too. We're just distracted, but it is solace to the soul. So if you can make yourself sit down and start it, I think you'll find some peace there. But I hope it also gives you an opportunity to kind of reflect and prioritize and make some plans for your future. And and we will come out on the other side of this, and we do have a future and a healthy, happy future. And it's nice to take stock sometimes and to figure out where you are so that you make good choices about where you're going. And so that was a good wake-up call for me. I hate that I lost some things because I did lose some things, but I didn't lose everything I thought I had, which is fantastic. And it did give me a kind of a kick in the behind to unpack my things. Just like, it's insanity. I had a 5-bedroom house to myself and my 2 cats, and everything that was in there is still sitting in boxes. So yes, I know that I've been focused on the shop and on teaching, trying to teach and do some other fun things. And I still want to do all that because I love that. That's what's, made my heart sing. And I'm going to keep doing that. But I'm going to find a way to get my stuff unpacked and divest of the things that I don't need and treasure the things that I do. So on that note, I hope you stitch a lot. I hope you have a good time. You're going to hear back from me a little more often. I'm back in the saddle after all these things that have happened in the last few weeks. I'm thinking about all of you that I know and a lot of you that I haven't met, but when we talk on the phone, I know that it's like we're old friends, and I appreciate that. And on that note, I will say that, we are not able to answer our phone on a regular basis right now. We're just really focusing hard to try to get your orders out the door. So I hope you understand that. But I am trying to get through the emails. They may not be as timely as what I would like, but I'm trying to get through email stuff. And please, just feel free to email us. But know that I'm thinking about you guys and I care about you. And I'm looking forward to, having a chance to welcome you back into our shop. And I'm looking forward to seeing you online with some fun things coming up soon. So if you join Fiber Talk, I don't always get on there, but, I feel like usually on Friday or Saturday night I make it for some reason, I guess because I'm home at that point. I'll chat with you there. Check out some of the videos that we're doing here and keep a lookout for if I can figure out how to do, some other things with live stitches and stuff like that. I will definitely put that out there. Be thinking about the needlepoint thing and anyway, just all kinds of stuff. Gosh, you won't get bored much. So hopefully you don't get bored. But thanks for being there for us as a shop. We appreciate you. We really do. And that's probably the longest wind down you've ever heard. So I'll leave it at that. Bye.